Sandra? Where are you, Sandra? Sandra? Is that you? Sandra! Sandra just left for the day. She finished off her shift. And we'll talk about employee evaluations at another time. But today I wanted to talk to you about the 5 new items we're adding this year, 2020, to the event rental business. Now keep in mind, we're in year 2/3 of the commercial location and years 3/4 in just event rentals in general. So that's kind of the timing in terms of where we're at, which really I hope gives you an idea, because if you're in year 10 or if you're in year 15 or if you're in year 1, this might not exactly be for you. I mean, it might be for you because you can compare, but don't get freaked out. Oh, I don't have this stuff if you're in year 1, and then if you're in year 15 and you don't have this stuff, maybe there's a reason why you don't have this stuff. So, first item is tent leg drapes. So we don't actually have these ordered in yet, but as you can see, that's kind of the idea there with these white leg drapes for our tents. Now that's a pole tent in the picture, but we have high peak tents. Pole tent legs, I believe, are not as high, but basically that's the style we're looking for. And we're gonna see how many pre-orders we get, because if we don't get enough, then we might actually take this specific item out. And so these will be fantastic, I think, to really make a tent a little bit more elegant. Sometimes I've noticed when we set up the tent, we kind of look at it and we're like, it just doesn't look really that elegant enough. It doesn't really vibe with that wedding feel. So I hope this adds a little more to kind of that wedding feel. Plus, it's an easy upsell, because from what I've been seeing, it's $40-50 to buy, maybe upwards to $60-70 for the really quality ones. I mean, you could probably make these by yourself, really. And they rent out, where we're going to be renting them out for $30. Now, we actually don't have, we recently added this, like just a couple days ago. I threw this on the website. So this is something I actually might take off. And now, guys, before I get into this, we're actually adding more items, but these are just 5 items I'm highlighting today for the sake of not making this video 1,000 minutes long. Now, another thing that's kind of related to tents are leg extension. You can see here, the leg extension tent now allows and this is actually an event we did, it's not just a random picture. It now allows the stage to go comfortably underneath without risk of wires sort of touching people's heads there. So we've noticed that some, we only really carry, for the larger tents, we only really carry the marquee high peak tents. And we've noticed sometimes, there are wires kind of diagonally crisscrossing the tents that are at about 8.5 feet. Basically, they go from the top of the legs from one corner to the other corner. And then the tent really goes up and much higher to 16, 17, 18 feet or so. But, if you want like a band there with a stage, that doesn't really work for the band because of those wires. Add leg extensions, which are basically a tube that goes into the tent legs. And you just need basically a tube that's slightly smaller, you need a tube, a leg that's slightly less sort of diameter than the leg of the tent. Hopefully that makes sense. But basically it's an inner leg to the normal leg. And we've sub-rented these before, and these would be incredibly easy to make, to have anybody that deals with piping make, or potentially even find. And then you just have a pin go through, or a bolt that will keep that leg into place. So you can really, and we've done this a couple times, again, we've sub-rented. It's super easy to do, and we're upselling that to like $180 more for the tent if you want to raise it up. And we're only doing it for the 10 by 20s and also for the 20 by 20s, not for the 20 by 40s, not yet anyway, because I just think that might be too big of a plan. This is an easy one, just a quick one. It's nothing fancy about this. The 4-foot adjustable table. This is the 4-foot adjustable table from Lifetime. As you can see, it easily adjusts. I'm not going to set it up now because it's kind of obvious. So we have 6-foot tables, we have 8-foot tables, we have 4-foot regular tables, but some people really want some adjustability. Why are we adding these? Because they're actually not too expensive to buy. They're $40, $50 Canadian. Well, I just received a call there, so that's why there's a cut. And where was I? The 4-foot table. And the reason that I like the 4-foot table is because it's only $40, $50 Canadian to buy. I think I mentioned that. And we're upselling it for about 10, 12, 15% more. I forget. Basically, the regular 6-foot table is $765, and then the 4-foot table, I think we're doing $895. And that's because like people aren't grabbing a lot of them. They really don't care about the $1 or $2 difference. But in the long run, when we're renting a few more of these out, like per purchase price and per rental price, like it's not a bad not a bad ratio. So we decided to add that. Plus, some people, they're doing a market, they're picking up a tent, but they really want some like adjustable tables. Maybe they can have some of their items here and then lower down, stuff like that. So that really gives the option. We have been asked for it several times, and this is why we're adding that. The bar stool. Now again, these have, it's kind of a modern color, modern style. People come in for the cocktail table, as well as the spandex cover for the cocktail table, typically in white or black, but sometimes, occasionally, not always, typically the cocktail table is sort of a, this is one right here, is sort of a come up to it and have a conversation standing up. But some people ask for, hey, do you have any stools that will go along with these cocktail tables? And now we can say yes. And so we've already had a couple orders for those, and that's something we added that in 2019, in late 2019, and we're going to kind of continue that. So that's kind of a cheat item, maybe an honorable mention. So that technically doesn't fall into that, but let's just keep it for now because I wrote this down. And I'm not, I prepped this, so let's just keep it for now. So calm down, everybody noticed that. If anybody noticed that, hey, we introduced these items in 2019, don't freak out. This obviously isn't hugely official, etc. Now, the last thing we're adding is a wedding arch. This is one of the wedding arches we made, and in fact, we're going to be making a couple of these just to give people options of different kind of styles. We're going to make one that's a little less rustic and like a darker color, although we'll keep the leg system, which is kind of like braced like that and attached like that to the head in a similar fashion. And so we already have a couple orders for this, and we thought, this isn't that difficult to make. In fact, the material cost of it, so the cost of the wood and the hardware to kind of put everything together, is less than the cost or sort of the price of the rental. Therefore, we're adding the wedding arch because we think it's kind of another great ratio. It's popular for weddings. It's something that's going to go out. We already have a few pre-orders for this, even though we just added it a month ago. So we're excited about that. So guys, those are the some five items that we're adding. We're adding a few more items. Actually, I'll make a part 2 to this video for another set of 5 items that we're adding. Sorry, I know my hair. I'm literally flinging my hair out of the way because it's getting fairly long. I will eventually cut it. That's another story. But I'll make another video for 5 other items we're adding to 2020 because we are adding about 10, 12, about a dozen new items. These are 5 of them. And hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. Maybe that gives you some thoughts about adding items yourselves. And, you know, we actually kind of also compare these items to, say, what other people, like, you know, we'll see if, hey, and the other company has nearby has a 4-foot adjustable table. Do they have bar stools? What prices? So we kind of see the competition. Now, we're not obsessed about competition. I'm not obsessed about competition like I used to be. But I need to kind of see where they're at in terms of pricing to see if, you know, the ratios make sense. Because, you know, we sort of set ourselves at a specific price range, which is slightly below average, and we kind of want to maintain that. That's the only reason really why I'm looking up for the competition. Perhaps, you know, perhaps if they have like a dark, yucky color or something, I'll try to choose a color that's a little bit more attractive. That goes for our bar stools. As you can see, they're kind of a nice modern gray, while the competition is kind of like a darker, uglier gray. Plus, they're slightly more expensive. So this gives people incentive to come here instead of there. The phone is kind of starting to tip on the tripod. So guys, take it easy. We'll see you later. Let's get some business done. And remember, it's not good enough. It's never good enough. Keep striving for better. Keep striving for more. We'll see you later.